Now we're talking money. Financial Times consumer editor Claer Barrett is right here. But before we begin, we'd like to hear from you this morning. Claer, you're going to be back in just over, I think, half an hour.
Sure.
And you're ready to answer some very specific questions from our viewers, if they have them, if you can. So whatever concerns you have, can you please get in touch this morning? We'd love to hear from you. But now in the papers this morning, the oil giant BP, it was reported yesterday, they've got it on the front of the Mirror there, brazen profiteers. They made almost £7 billion profit in just 3 months. I mean, Claer, it comes at a time of a cost of living crisis. The energy problem is huge, and a lot of people are going to be worried about not being able to pay their energy bills.
Absolutely, and motorists especially are raging at the amount of profit that BP and others have been able to make. Now, if we consider what's happening in France for a minute, France's biggest oil company, under pressure from the government and threats of a windfall tax, they have actually promised in September to lower the price of fuel at the pump for French motorists. Now, BP told the Financial Times yesterday it doesn't have plans to do that in the UK, but it really comes down...
We're soft in this country, aren't we? The government is too soft.
Well, I mean, the zombie
surely.
government, what are they doing? They're having a leadership contest. They're not concentrating on the cost of living crisis, which is affecting everybody in this country. It's not just the petrol prices, it's the energy bills. Now, there's been lots of gloomy talk in the papers this morning about recession, but there's also been more detail on the level of energy bill price rises that we can expect to see at the end of August when the price cap is announced by Ofgem. It could be going up to £3,400 a year nearly for the average bill in October, then £3,600 a year just over from January, as our graph shows. Now, if you think about that £400 worth of energy help and the other measures that are coming down the way, they were announced in May. Now, at that point, price cap was around £2,000. £400 help sounds good, but the increase we're going to be expecting £1,400 in October. So it's simply not enough, and people are getting desperate with worry about how they're going to afford just to live.
Especially if you're on those prepayment ones as well, where, you know, the lights do turn off if you don't top up all the time. And you are worried, aren't you, about scams also, because you talk about that tax rebate there for the £400. Or the energy bill recap. Just tell us about the scams that I think if you're desperate, you are much more vulnerable to click yes on things.
Yes, so the £400 that's coming, if you pay by direct debit, you'll get a credit automatically applied to your bill. It will either be £66 or £67 a month from 6 months from October onwards. You don't need to do anything. But I'm sure the scammers will capitalise on this and send out lots of texts and WhatsApp messages with click here to make sure you get your discount. The only people who will have a different situation are the prepayment customers, people who pay for their energy advance. If you've got a smart meter, it will automatically be applied to your prepayment smart meter. If you have the old-style top-up at the corner shop system, around 2 million people, you will be posted vouchers. But I do worry that people won't open the post necessarily if they're worried about bills. Some energy companies might have a different way of contacting customers. I think they should be super clear from the get-go about how they're going to do that so that people don't fall into a scamming trap.
For most people, it'll just happen automatically. Is that what you're trying to say? But if you're on the prepayment, open your post.
Yes,
because your voucher will be in there.
Be brave.
Be brave and open the post. You're also obviously going to talk now about the Bank of England increasing their interest rates.
Yes, this is the next thing that's going to happen to us.
So it sort of makes you gasp, doesn't it? Because we've been used to low interest rates for quite a while, and this is now feeling quite painful.
So they're going to make their decision tomorrow.
Right.
The Bank of England governor has already said that a half percentage point rise could be on the table. Didn't need to say that. That would follow the big rises that we've seen recently in America and in Europe, because high inflation is happening everywhere, not just in the UK. So we could see the biggest single jump in interest rate rises tomorrow that we've seen in this country for around 25 years. Now, if you're on a mortgage, that's going to be relevant to you. Around 80% of us are on a fix if we've got a mortgage.
So isn't that a good thing?
It's a very good thing. There won't be an immediate impact, but as your finance person, I would say prepare. Find out what day your fix is going to expire and plan backwards. At least 6 months beforehand, you can lock in a new deal. So don't let it happen to you, creep up unawares, and then all of a sudden you shoot up onto the standard variable rate. And then good news, obviously, for savers. There's lots of savings deals that are starting to get more generous now. Of course, they're nowhere near the rate of inflation, which is nearly 10%. So technically, your money's still going backwards, but around 2.5% are the best rates you can get at the moment. I'd expect that to improve if we do get a big interest rate rise tomorrow. So look online, Money Facts, Take Care of Your Cash, all of these different websites that you can use to try and find the best
And even
deal.
if you're on a low income and you're worried, you still say there is a way you can try and save a little bit. Yeah,
you might not have heard of it, but Help to Save, Google it. It's a government scheme, and you can get up to 50% interest. I did say that right. Have a look at that.
Website,
if you're on a low income, if you're on benefits, making a regular commitment, although as hard as that is to do, it's to help low-income families build up a cash buffer for emergencies.
OK. Can you do holidays in a minute?
Yes.
Holiday scams in a minute.
I can. So everyone's looking for a bargain right now. If you're on a holiday website, you see a deal that looks pretty good, and the person says to you, let's go off the website and pay via direct bank transfer and I'll give you a discount, it's bound to be a scam. Be very careful, and it will take you an awfully long time to get your money back. If that happens to you, you may not get it back at all. Another thing to watch out for, hire cars. There's a worldwide shortage of hire cars at the moment, and I've heard of people, maybe their passport says Samuel, but their name is Sam. They turn up at the hire car place and they say, no, your booking's invalidated because your name is wrong. Sharp practice, rent the car out to the next customer.
Wow.
So, and same applies for admin charges on flights if your name doesn't match your passport. So check that, save your cash.
I'm just going to jump right in. Is that OK with you? So we've got Marcia via email who sent this half an hour ago. I pay my electricity and gas bill by direct debit. I'm with E.ON. £398 in credit. My direct debit went through yesterday. Can I request a refund? She said, I've never been in arrears. My bill went up to £182 a month. Before the rise, it was £82 a month for both gas and electricity. I mean, she just wants to know how she can get a refund. She's got this money sitting there.
Yeah, lots of people would be the same. You can, in most cases, get your money back, but the question is, would you want to? So we know that energy prices are going to shoot up in October and probably again in January. So energy companies, if you ask for credit, they have to give you a good reason if they refuse, but they expect you to build up a bit of a refund. If you ask for a refund, if you build up a bit of a buffer over the summer months, and you've got more in the pot to pay the bill in the winter months, so they could use that as an excuse and say we'll only give you part of the money, but they have to give you the reason. The energy regulator has already warned them if customers want credit back or if they want to talk to you about adjusting the level of their direct debit, you have to listen to them and give them a fair hearing. So she could, I think, if she gives her bill readings, shows that her usage isn't going crazy, she could hopefully get some of that credit back. And if they say no, they have to give her a reason. If she doesn't like it, she can complain. And is the reason that they can hold on to that money because they want to make sure that they can get paid in the winter months, essentially? So they're holding on to that £398 so that when the bills do go up, then will they just take it out of that credit? The way that the direct debit works is that we pay the same amount every month, but obviously our usage is normally less in the summer and more in the winter. But it balances out over the course of the year. So you've got more gas in the tank, if you like, for the more expensive winter months. And we know that this winter is going to be the most expensive ever. OK. So it's almost worth keeping that credit there to protect yourself unless you can ask for it back if you want it now. Or take it out and put it in a savings account. Put it in a savings account, yes, Interest rates are going up.
OK, so Hazel says, I'm a Shell customer and I'm £50 in credit. Last 3 months' bills have only exceeded £254. However, Shell will not allow a direct debit of less than £254. What can I do to keep my money in my account and not further line their pockets, which is a similar point? So many people are going to be having this problem, and the answer is communicate with your energy companies, but also the energy companies need to listen to us. There's going to be record numbers of people trying to contact them this winter. 3 magic words for you: variable direct debit. This is not a tariff that most companies openly offer, but if you ask to be moved to a variable direct debit, you will pay every month for the energy that you use. So if you can work on cutting your consumption, loads of tips and advice on a Facebook group called Energy Support and Advice UK, which I thoroughly recommend. It's run by ex-energy industry people who understand bills. They've got loads of guides to how you can cut your consumption. That will go some way to addressing the problem. Maybe you can prove you're using less, get your direct debit reduced, get it on this variable level. But the fact of the matter is there are going to be millions of families who just simply won't be able to afford their bills come October, even with the level of help we've got.
let's see what the next Prime Minister can do, Ranvir.
Let's see. Thank you so much, Claire, for staying on to answer some of those questions.
Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.